It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Morgan to Baxter's in trouble, let it go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass, and the victory in Las Vegas. Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 6 in season number 4 of the NOFSRL Herr's Dash Series. We are here at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the California 200. It's going to be a 20-lap race around this 2-mile speedway, and it will be an interesting one here, especially considering what we've seen in the past few races and the way Eric Monaco has dominated this series so far. He comes into this race with a 57-point lead, and we're only a quarter of the way through the season. I'm alongside Carter Friesen. Great to have you back. Been a while since we've done a race together. And with the ratings being introduced in this series, it's pretty clear that Monaco figured out a pretty good combination, but we're still early on in the season. Do you think anyone else might figure something out and close into him in the points before the end of the season?
Well, it really depends on how these trucks are set up, what I would say, especially with the rating system being introduced. So if you have some good ratings, you'll be running up front. If you have not so good ratings, probably be running mid-pack towards the back probably, but who knows? Eric Monaco's been doing very, very good so far this season, so I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does in this race as well, as he starts in the 4th position here at Auto Club, but we really don't know what to expect in this race. Of course, the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race that we had here back in February, we saw drivers be able to stay out front for quite a while, and of course with the rating system in play, it's a good possibility we could see that here today as well, but we could also see a race where they're all bunched up, and we end up with a cycle race. We just don't know what to expect here, but we do know. We're glad you're joining us here on this Tuesday evening from the Auto Club Speedway here for the California 200. This is a lineup in the championship standings. I mentioned Eric Monaco has 195 points towards the championship. As a matter of fact, he just had his worst finish of the season at Rockingham last weekend. Nathan Baird is 57 points behind. Josh Williamson and Matt Dalio are tied for 3rd in the points, both 58 points behind, and then Mason Brown 67 points behind. Nobody can surpass Eric Monaco in the points after today's race, and it's been a long time since I've seen somebody jump after this much of a points lead in a series, but I think Eric Monaco has a pretty good ratings combination. Of course, everyone has an equal ratings combination. They had 2 of each grade, and they had to disperse each grade out, so they have the same letter grade, same amount of letter grades in every place. It's just in different places, and that's where it all comes down, and Monaco put them in the right places when we had sign-ups night a few weeks ago. But either way, I'm going to get these guys to roll off. Ryan Durrani's 2nd straight pole. I'm actually wrong about that. I have a feeling that Atlanta was the last race I did. It wasn't. But he's got his 2nd pole of the season. He won the pole at Atlanta. He's got the pole here at California. He's alongside Ethan Lewis on row number 1. Got Nathan Baird, who is 2nd in the points alongside our points leader, Eric Monaco, in the 56. Justin Zeidel and Bradley Ream. That is row number 3. Parker Smith and Edwin Mendez make up row number 4. Then it's Christian Master in the 99 of Josh Williamson making up row number 5. Take a look and see where a couple of our other drivers who are doing well in points are in the field. Matt Dalio in the number 40 is about midway through the field. As a matter of fact, he's in row 7 to the outside of Derek Hamill. Then a Mason Brown in the 18, who's 5th in points. It's just ahead of him there in row number 6 to the outside of Nikolay Sykes. So Carter, I know you recognize some of the names in this series. You know that Eric Monaco's been dominating this series. Who do you think's going to win this race here tonight in California?
Well, it's really hard to tell because California's definitely a very interesting track. You can see a lot of 4-wide action usually, 4 and 5 wide sometimes even. It's got to watch out for those crashes usually, so we got to see how this is going to play out, but my money's definitely on Eric Monaco. He's been doing great all season.
And of course he won that thrilling race at Daytona by 1/1000th of a second, won the opener at Bristol, then went on to go top 5 in the next 2 races. We'll have to see if he can do it again here tonight. We're Green Flag Racing here at the California Speedway Auto Club. We're underway in the California 200. Already you see 3 wide, or looking 3 wide for the race lead. Justin Zeidel in the 98. Haven't seen much of Zeidel yet this season, but we're seeing him right now to the inside of Ryan Durrani for the race lead. That inside lane usually doesn't work as well as the outside, but Zeidel's going to make it work to the inside. He actually finished second in the IndyCar race here last year, so no surprise to see him running up front. And Mason Brown, he started in the 12th position. He moved up 10 spots in the first lap of the race, and now he's going to the inside for the race lead. And look at this. This is madness back here.
5 wide, now back down to, back down to 3 wide here. Down the back straightaway they go on lap 2.
And this is a lot different than what we saw in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series back in February. I'll tell you that much. Keisha Boyd to the inside of Mason Brown, but now the outside lane's starting to work a little bit there. Mason Brown going to clear on the outside lane. And Monaco kind of stuck in the middle here in the 56 machine, but he's going to find a way to the inside lane, and I watch out for him. He might find a way to the race lead here in a few laps. But it's a longer race, one of the longer races we have this season, 20 laps here at Auto Club. So it'll take a little bit longer than a couple of the other races we have had recently here in the Herr's Dash Series. But either way, Mason Brown looking to pull away here. Silas Orta in the 16 right there. He's cleared for the 3rd position. Then we got 4 wide for 4th. That's Derek Kemmel to the inside of Atlanta winner Dan Park, Logan Williams, and the 0-2 of Nathan Baird.
You gotta remember, because this is a night race, the track temperature is a lot cooler, so it takes a little bit longer for these tires to heat up, especially when we have such low temperatures like this.
That will definitely come into effect here early on, and tire wear will come into play. There aren't any pit stops in the Herr's Dash Series, but that's still a thing, especially when we get later on into a race. I mean, that came into effect at Rockingham, and this is a worn-out racetrack as well, so imagine these guys are going to struggle just a little bit when we get down to the later stretch of the race. Mason Brown continues to lead. Keisha Boyd still second. Dan Park and Derek Campbell and Silas Orta going after it for 3rd, and Eric Monaco just outside the top 5 right here is able to clear the rest of the pack, and here he is in the 6th position behind Park and Hamill.
Making great moves right there, so 3 and 4, and now here goes, that is the 9, I believe, to the inside now. Yes, it is. Trying to take the 3rd spot away from the 16 of Silas.
Trying to get that inside lane to work. Dan Park, a little bit tough to do so here, especially through 3 and 4. That wider arc works out very well, especially when the tires wear out. But you can power it down pretty well in the inside lane here, and it looks like Dan Park will, in fact, clear for the 3rd position, I should say. And 2nd place, Keisha Boyd going to the inside of Mason Brown for the race lead. Haven't seen much of Keisha Boyd yet this season, but she is going to the inside for the race lead in the 04 machine, and looks like she's going to take it right away from Mason Brown with no problem at all.
It's a little interesting because you'd expect that outside line to be, a lot stronger, because we're 6 laps in now, so these tires are relatively heated now. So you'd expect that that outside line would hold on a lot more. As you see side by side here for 5th position between 56 and the 68. That's Derek Hamill and Eric Monaco now.
And Mason Brown looking back to the inside for the race lead, and as they go side by side, Dan Park and Silas Orta are closing in for this race lead. Of the top 4, only one of these guys has won a race before on Aptafan. That's Dan Park, who's won multiple times before. Orta, Mason Brown, and Keisha Boyd all looking for their first career Aptafan wins here tonight at Auto Club.
I wouldn't be surprised if these 4 right here are able to, kind of get away from the other trucks behind them if they can get out to single file, but they're battling pretty hard right now. You see the 99 of Justin Zeidel, or 98, excuse me, catching up now to the rest of the
Dan
leaders.
Park has gone to the race lead there, and you mentioned Justin Zeidel. He's all the way up to the 5th position now. One guy I really like to point out is our last winner, Jordan Lopez. He won at Rockingham while he was last in the championship standings. And he started deep in the field for this race here. He's trying to close up to the race leaders, but did lose a little bit of ground there on that outside lane. Got Marty Johnson to the inside of Gatlin Downey. Alexander Rowe was up here in the 3. Of course, Alexander Rowe has been having an excellent season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Almost won again at Rockingham over the weekend. Couldn't pull it off, unfortunately, but he's actually last in the points in this series right now, but he's inside the top 10. So that's Eric Monaco, the points leader, and the guy who's last in the points, Alexander Rowe, battling it out for position, and Rowe's going to go to the inside. Meanwhile, how about Zeidel all the way up to 2nd place now as he's gotten around Keisha Boyd. And Mason Brown has taken the race lead back away from those guys, and he's looking for his first career win. He might just get it here at Auto Club here tonight.
9 back to the inside of the 98, trying to take the second spot. Looks like Zeidel's going to be able to hang on to it now. Here comes the 04. Oh, going to get blocked by the 9 now, way up to the outside. It's not really the ideal line down the front straightaway. And look at the 3 of Alexander Rowe now caught up, as well as the 56 of Eric
Monaco going to go back to the inside of Alexander Rowe right there. I don't think that inside lane is as weak as it was in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race we had. I think the inside's a lot stronger here tonight than the outside, and a little bit different than what we saw back in February, but these are different vehicles than what we were driving in February in the Turkey Hill Series and Chick-fil-A Cup Series, so not that much of a surprise we're seeing something different, especially considering the ratings in play. Alexander Rowe, how about Marty Johnson moving his way through the field? Orta's falling back a little bit. Same with Keisha Boyd. Got Gatlin Downey here. We're going to have to see if he gets a run to the inside of the 16 machine. Meanwhile, we got Brett Sear here in the 19. We really have not seen Brett Sear that much this season, but he's pretty much in this lead draft right now, just outside the top 10. And Nathan Baird also just outside the top 10. And Justin Lightning also in this pack as well. And then you see the gap right there from Lightning to Mike Thompson in the 28 machine.
And just remember, if you're fighting way back here, we're already halfway through this race here on lap 11 now, coming to lap 12. We're going to have 9 laps to go. So if you're just hanging back and, you know, getting side by side, not really getting a run, and trying to work your way up to the front, and you're running a...
Dan Park there in the number 9 machine. He's going to clear Justin Zeidel. Derek Hamill in the 68 to the inside of Justin Zeidel for the 3rd position. And Marty Johnson also with a good run. This is the best run he's had all season in that number 52 machine. He's working that outside lane with Justin Zeidel ahead of him, and they're going to get around Derek Hamill, who could not work that inside through turns 3 and 4. Johnson up to 4th, Zeidel in 3rd. But Mason Brown and Dan Park, I think those are the 2 guys who are going to battle it out for this race win. They've been the 2 most dominant guys so far in this race, and they clearly seem to have an advantage on the rest of the field here tonight.
When they came off a 4 there, and the 98 and the 52 slid up, or the 3 slid up with them as well. The 56 had such a run, he had to get out of the gas to avoid hitting the 3, so that was pretty close right there.
Eric Monaco still stuck behind Derek Hamill. Alexander Rowe. Brett Sear is closing in really fast here. Great run for Sear in tonight's event. For Sear is another guy who's never won before on Napa Fan. He'd love to get a Napa Fan win here tonight. Same with Justin Lightning. Gatlin Downey, Nathan Baird behind those guys. And Marty Johnson is pulling in to Dan Park and Mason Brown. Zeidel also joining these guys, and now Dan Park looking to the inside for the race lead. That could open the door for Johnson to possibly take the race lead here in a couple of laps. Watch out for that 52. He looks really fast.
Yeah, he's definitely having a great run so far tonight. He's going to get blocked by the 9 right here. The 98's going to come up to his bumper. Now goes to the inside. They're going to go 3 wide for second.
Justin Zeidel with a great run there on Marty Johnson and Dan Park. That might work out well for Zeidel if he can hold the inside lane through turns 1 and 2. But Johnson's going to have the middle line right there, and he might be able to clear the 98. So Johnson will gain a position. He's going to get around Dan Park, and he'll keep Zeidel behind him. Now he has his eye set on Mason Brown. Meanwhile, Eric Monaco still in the battle of all these guys behind him. But still inside the top 10. Of course, all the top 10s he has had this season have also been top 5s. He's looking for his 5th top 10 in 6 races here. And it's looking like it might be a little bit difficult to beat him in points. But Mason Brown's a guy who's 5th in points, leading this field. He's led the most laps in this race. But I don't know if he's going to get the race win. There goes Marty Johnson down to the inside for the race lead on lap 16. And he is going to easily clear him here with 5 laps to go.
Great move. Surprised it stuck on the bottom there. I mean, he was kind of running in the middle, so it does have a little bit more grip up there compared to the inside line. But I don't know. We're going to have to see if he's going to run away with it or if the 18 is going to charge again. Here he comes, getting close to the 52. Will he look to the inside or the outside? Goes to the inside here off of 4.
Will Marty Johnson even lead a lap here? Mason Brown with a great run on the inside. Johnson will get a bonus point towards the championship. But that's going to open the door for Dan Park and Justin Zeidel. And look here, Derek Hamill in the 68, also inside the top 5. He was the one who pushed Eric Monaco to the race win at Daytona a couple of weeks ago. He wants a race victory for himself now. And speaking of Monaco, these guys behind here all single file, while these guys are going 3 wide for position. Johnson slipping up, falling to the back of this pack as Mason Brown goes back to the race lead. Gonna be 3 laps to go this time by in the California 200 at Auto Club.
And watch out for that 21 of Justin Lightning. He was right there when they got back to turn 1, and now he's currently in the 5th position, so he's gonna have a shot right here.
He will. Looking for his first career Napa fan win. Marty Johnson, that's a tough break for him right there. It's been a long time since Johnson's won as a driver on Napa Fan. Of course, he's an owner in the Chick-fil-A Cup. He's been an owner over there for quite some time, but this is his league. This is the NOFSRL. He hasn't won an NOFSRL race on Napa Fan ever. He's won NRLOA races on Napa Fan before, but not an NOFSRL race on Napa Fan as a driver. But looks like he's going to fall back a little bit. Lightning really lost a lot of ground there. And Monaco, he might be sworn by Baird and Sierra here. But Mason Brown, with 2 laps to go, continues to lead this race. Seidel and Dan Parker going after it. It seems like Mason Brown is the car to beat here at Auto Club, but someone can get ahead of him for 1 lap. That's all it's going to take, but they're not going to get to him if they're racing side by side like this. Mason Brown pulling away here at Auto Club, coming to the white flag in the California 200.
And this is exactly what Mason Brown wants to see. These guys side by side, now 3 wide behind him. That does not help these guys from, what is that, 2nd on to 6th?
Yeah,
so that's just going to help the 18.
Right there.
It's just going to help the 18 to pull away.
Derek Hamill, looks like Hamill might be able to clear all these guys, but there is a considerable gap from him to Mason Brown, and it looks like we can give this one to the 18 right now. The battle's on for 2nd, and Eric Monaco, Brett Sear also inside the top 10 here. Nathan Baird and Alexander Rowe, Keisha Boyd looking to edge out the top 10. But it's Mason Brown who's going to grab his first career Napa Fan win in a dominating performance at the Auto Club Speedway. Mason Brown wins the California 200 at Auto Club. And Hamill finishes 2nd. Marty Johnson will get 3rd. Justin Lightning and Justin Seidel round out the top 5 as Monaco finishes in the 8th position. Brett Sierra and Dan Park also able to finish ahead of him, with Alex in a row and Nathan Baird rounding out the top 10.
That's only the 2nd time, I believe, that Eric Monaco has not finished top 5 this season.
And that's the 2nd straight time he hasn't finished top 5 this season. He's slipping up a little bit.
Yeah.
But Mason Brown will gain some points on Eric Monaco there. It won't be that much, but Brown gained maximum points here at Auto Club tonight. So I believe he's going to gain about 12 points on Monaco. And that's a good gain there for Mason Brown. And we're still early on in the season here in the Herr's Dash Series, so he's going to have a lot of opportunities to find his way to Eric Monaco in the points. Take a look at the rest of the results right there. And Matt Dalley, who came in this race tied 3rd in the points, finished 38th. Williamson 30th, so those guys are going to fall back. Nathan Baird did a decent job. He's going to lose a couple of points from Monaco, but he still got a great run, finishing 10th in the O2, so he'll still be kind of within Monaco's range when we head to Talladega, which is the 3rd and final Super Speedway of the season next weekend, this coming weekend, I should say, which will be the next weekend we have. That race will be, I believe, on Thursday, because the Turkey Hill Series will be racing on Friday. So only a couple days from now, we'll be racing at Talladega in the Herr's Dash Series for the Alabama 200. That'll be a fun one. See who gets it done around that Super Speedway. But final thoughts in this race, Carter. Mason Brown, he looked really strong in this race. Do you think he's going to have a shot at the championship as we go on through the season?
Well, considering what we saw tonight, he definitely has the truck to do so. So I wouldn't count him out whatsoever.
We have to see what Mason Brown can do and what Eric Monaco can do. We're still early on in the season here. 14 races left to go after tonight, so a lot can happen between now and the championship a couple months down the road. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Mason Brown on his race victory, and here are the points for the Herr's Dash Series after 6 races. On behalf of Carter Friesen, I will see you guys later.